Joseph W. Brady tells of compelling developments ahead at Victor Valley College.
No one is better in tune with what's going on and what's going to happen. Bring us up to date on college developments.
Well, I'm there's a couple of people that are a little bit more in tune. That they probably know a little bit more than I do. As a trustee, you don't always know things first, and that's Dr. Walden, our president superintendent, who's just done a great job, and we just gave him a 4-year contract, and everybody's happy. And you know what? And our board's getting along. We just approved our redistricting plan. We actually cleaned it up. So the map that we had was pretty much the map that we kept. What we did is we cleaned up that area, kind of the east side of Spring Valley Lake in that district. We took it to the river. Terry, we just adopted. We're looking at energy savings. Dr. Walden has continued to build his team. Team member by team member. So he's got Todd Scott there. He's got Art Lopez. He's building his team the way that he wants to, and then the board has allowed him to do that. We don't micromanage that process. There's too many things within the process where we don't have to micromanage because there's so many things that they have to do. There's committees and councils within the college. But the thing I'm really, 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 really excited about is the Educational Events Conference Center. So that's something that we have worked on for a really long time. It goes back to when Dr. Wagner was here, so I'll be sure to send this clip to him. So Dr. Wagner, I know that we pushed and we pushed and we pushed. I also want to give a big plug to Steve Garcia, who retired last year in Spring Valley Lake. I mean, he's so retired I never even see him. I don't even see him on the golf course. But so we pushed him really hard. So this last building we did was a one-stop, and that was fun. It was gorgeous, and Pinkerton and I got to go out and lay some concrete and pump concrete and all that. But so this is a 20,500, I think it's 20,561 square foot facility. We are going to totally redo the football stadium. So the building itself will be in the southerly portion of the stadium complex where the track was. So all that's going to be redone. We're going to end up with 4,000 seats in the stadium. We're going to push it back towards the hill, be 2,500 for VVC, and there'll be 1,500 for the visitors. But the other thing, Terry, is that there's other events that you can use it for. There might be other high schools or that need to do their graduations that actually have it. So it's a public facility. So the building's 20,561 square feet or whatever. It's going to have really one major open area, but it's divisible into 3 basically conference rooms. Okay, we're going to have a place for the board directors. The board of trustees, board of directors. I've dreamed of a new boardroom for years. The boardroom we have was part of Building 10. It's where Boise Cascade started selling, lots back in 1969. Bob Stewart, remember it? They actually had I think they had a 7-Eleven, a little convenience store in that building. I personally just don't like our boardroom. I don't think that people enjoy going there. We've had some good meetings there, we've had bad meetings there. I think it's time for that building to go away. So I've pushed like the balance. The board has. Our board has been incredibly supportive of this. It's a $31 million cost. Deb and I bought some bonds. It was hard to buy bonds. I'll tell you, I was really surprised how hard it was to buy bonds. We're going to be able to seat 600 to 650 people for dinner. It will have an area in the kitchen where you'll be able to basically reheat, for caterers coming on in. Our boardroom will be substantially bigger, a whole lot more friendly. Depending upon the configuration, I believe we'll be able to seat 1,000 people one time on the floor. So let's say there's a big meeting. Spring Valley Lake needed something. There's just no place out here. And while I love going to Hilton Garden Inn, and we used to like going to the fairgrounds. The college is in the middle of the valley. We're an educational facility. It's a great place to go. So I'm hoping. So the bid process is going to start. The college is going to start working in the middle of March to really get out and see how many local contractors that we can get. So I'm going to ask Sue Moore to really pump this Facebook, this portion on Facebook, to be sure that we hit all the areas on that here. When Joe Range and Diana Carloni and all the people that were behind the Measure JJ bond, the $298 million bond went out. One of the promises was that whatever we could do, we would get as many local contractors to work as possible. Back when Dr. Roger Wagner was was our president, and John Pinkerton was still on the board. We kind of pushed one night pretty hard, and with concurrence of Steve Garcia, we sat down in the conference room and we said, let's go to the State Contractors License Board. Let's take a look at all the contractors that have the zip codes from the top of the Cajon Pass out to Barstow, and from the LA County line to Lucerne Valley. Terry, with the growth I now see coming out here, we're going to have a lot of contractors from below, maybe smaller, that want to come out here, that want to become a part of the high desert of the Mojave River landscape. And one thing that I have harped on, and I've had great support from the other trustees, is we need to cultivate within to be sure that as many of our local dollars stay here. I want all the contractors up here to bid. I don't care if you're doing landscaping or paving or concrete or whatever you're doing. We want to keep the dollars local. That was the promise that all these great leaders, when they went out to sell the bond, and so Dr. Walden has reaffirmed in an email this week that we're going to go back. We're going to get boots on the ground. We've given him a media list. We're going to get the word out however we can, because I don't want anybody to ever say, well, I didn't get a chance. And I want to be sure that if let's say you're a small, really small contractor, and you want to grow someday, okay? We're going to show you the process to get there. So maybe it's not this building, it's the next building. I mean, we've looked at, do we do student housing? But we got to get through the COVID issue first. But we have other buildings that we're going to do. We're doing some major rehab on 3 buildings right now. One of them is Building 55. So I see great things. This is a great day. I'm looking forward to pumping concrete. I'm challenging John. I'm going to challenge you right now, Brandon. Bring on your game. Dennis Henderson, show us what you got. I think this is one of those things that I had more fun pumping that concrete. I will say to you, if you've never pumped concrete and you've driven by and you see somebody holding one of those hoses and you just think it's real easy, it's not easy. And if you trip and fall, you're going to trip and fall and put your face right in the middle of that stuff. And the guys behind you that are moving the concrete, it's a team deal. That's the thing I liked. You were really a part of a team, and the team pushed you, and there was just no way of making a mistake. You couldn't. So, Steve Garcia, thanks for giving me the opportunity to do it with John. Dr. Wagner, thanks for the opportunity. Dr. Walden, we're challenging now. I like to get, we got to bring John back for this, but I think, Dennis and Brandon and I listen, if Jennifer wants to do it and Sharon wants to do it, I don't know if they want to hold that. It does weigh a lot, but no, I'm really excited. Things are good. The COVID issue is obviously something that's been a big challenge. Terry, it's had a huge impact on our registration number of students. Okay, our budget is based on the number of students. I will say this: since the beginning of the year, in a very, very short period of time, we've been up 8%, which is a huge number. Trustee Pinkerton sits out in the audience and reminds us all the time, as one of 30 counselors out here with all the different high schools, how important it is that we work with them. We're working very closely with Chris Piercy and all the high schools out there. It is a major directive by Dr. Walden and his staff to do that. And then I believe that probably within the next 2 years we will hopefully recoup those students that we have lost. But remember, across the country we lost 20% of our students. So hopefully we can pick those up. So last thing, I've been told this, and when you reminded me of this, I unfortunately yesterday didn't get a chance to go down. VVC ladies basketball team won their division first time in 25 years. That's incredible. But I understand it's either 6 or 8 of the girls that are on that team are from the high desert. Yeah. That says a lot. Yeah. So then what happens is other girls on the other team say, hey, wait a minute. I'm going to go to VVC. That kind of spirit gets people excited, and it gets everybody hopefully involved. I'm going to tell you this: VVC will be the best community college in this country by the year 2027. We're aspiring for the Aspen Award. We are doing everything we can to do that, and it's not. I've got another term, and I got some other things I want to do, and when I decide to leave, I'll decide to leave, and hopefully we can find somebody within our district that is as compassionate as I am, and we'll hopefully do what's right now, what's politically correct.